Well, finally got my new gloves, and my thumbs are too small for them. They, these are the smallest size that they sell in this glove, and these are Wells Lamont with the reinforced thumbs, and they fit my fingers just fine. This one's a little loose. This one's the same as my other gloves. But look at the thumb. Like, like I don't know if maybe if it needs to stretch or something. If you stretch it, if you force it down, it's close, but it's still just my thumbs are too small. Why do I have such weird thumbs? Look at this. Why do I have such weird hands? And these are a size medium. This is the smallest glove that they sell. Meat size medium. You can see size medium. I have to turn that off. It's way too dark tonight. Sun and the moon. And these, look, absolutely perfect fit. Just comfortable, just a perfect fit. So I don't know, but the thumbs are wearing from moving logs, and I don't know. I was using these earlier today, and they're just fine, but the thumbs are small. So maybe I just got a weird pair, slightly off. No, medium. It says medium. But so far, they aren't uncomfortable. There are two things that I can't do. One is baking. I can bake bread. I'm very good at making bread for some reason, but I can't bake. Like cookies or pretty much cookies or brownies. And I can't sew. I absolutely am just I'm terrible at it. In school, we had to take home ec, and we made t-shirts. I made literally the worst t-shirt that you can imagine wearing. It was just horrible. But we have that Singer upstairs, and it's an old school Singer sewing machine. One of the like their best sewing machines that they ever made. Technically, like, it's the revered model, and it's a beautiful machine. So you can do minor leather work with it. It's that strong. So maybe I can shape these thumbs. How? Like, you see? Yeah, see? Like the thumb is different. The size large glove, its thumb is smaller than the medium's thumb. Son of a dick. I don't. I'm absolutely just terrible when it comes to like sizing stuff with sewing, and so I don't want to screw these up. I mean, they're only $20, but that's still a lot of money for a pair of gloves. And to just go around screwing up gloves by resizing them, and then if I mess up, that's another $20. So it adds up really fucking quickly. So far though, they're really nice though when swinging an axe. And somehow I dinged my handle. I guess my axe did fall. I was really tired earlier. I had been working for one, I was up for like 15 hours before I fell asleep. And then, after I fall asleep, or before I fall asleep, I was moving these huge, heavy logs up the hill. And it's around 100 yards. And I mean, I was carrying these things probably weigh at least 80 pounds. Massive logs. And so that, kind of wore me out. And so I guess I lost some focus and my axe fell and dinged the end of it. And this needs to be rubbed. I guess I coated it again. But when you swing the axe and you get this reinforcement here, it's really nice. And the thumb reinforcement's pretty nice, but it still just needs to be like that. And I don't know. Like the crevice too is just a little too large. So I don't know if I have the skill to sew these, but they are nice. They match my shirt too. I didn't think I would like them, but they were worth a try. These are Hydra Hide, and they don't have the labels on them, which I think is nice. So they have too much branding, and then you get this on them. You don't have that on these, and you only get one tag. There's no tag on this one, and so that's really nice, because it's just like one extra thing that might snag, or you can before. This hasn't been too much of a problem, but before I overly conditioned these, you could feel that there in your wrist, and you don't want that distraction. I guess this one doesn't have a side tag. It has one here though. Thought it did, but they got rid of that rubber on there, and it's nice suede, and they're very comfortable, but the thumbs are weird. God, I got weird hands. What a pain. Unless maybe I can shrink them and then stretch them back out. I don't know if that's a thing. Like, I wonder if these other ones haven't been resized. Potentially whoever lived here resized them. It is not easy to get that thumb out. Let's see. So, don't appear to be. The stitch pattern looks the same. It's a bit finer. Whatever. That singer should be able to handle stitching this. The thing is really awesome. I haven't used it yet, but I know exactly what that sewing machine is, and we learned about them in school and stuff, and like that's what Singer made their namesake on, is that sewing machine. The thing is early 1900s ish, and just what the fuck. See? Like, just fits absolutely perfect. Fits like a glove. I go to get some sake. The other employee there, he was getting off work, and the owner was just like, "How are you guys doing tonight?" I was like, "You? Well, I got some new gloves, but my thumbs are too small." I see the employee like walking back, trying hard not to laugh. Maybe I'll add that. Fucking phlegm. Some water. I had my parents pick up some orange juice. They bought the store brand orange juice when the name brand stuff is the same price right now. I can never handle doing anything. Yeah, like the name brand stuff's $3.50 right now, or it was at least last week. I don't know if it still is. I haven't been to the store, but the store brand, the Safeway orange juice is just terrible. Ah. I was grilling corned beef for my parents, and let my father shoot. So I make these 100. No, these are 200 grain. 200 grain, 45 caliber rounds at around 1,500 feet per second, and the caliber of the bullet is slightly smaller than, because I think it's 4.58 versus 450, and It's just ever so slightly, so it causes this micro grooving, and you get a very accurate bullet, but it doesn't seal in the rifling properly. So you can only use like 35 grains of powder. It doesn't matter how you bump it up, it just doesn't go faster. And god damn. And I forgot to tell him because there is so little powder, like it has the powder capacity of 44 Magnum, and this can hold like 70 grains of powder. And so he goes to shoot it, and it goes pop, and he goes plink. You can hear it hit the pan. Those dead accurate. It's just rather underwhelming, and then it's because the powder, if you don't if you don't shoulder it properly, and I didn't realize until after I analyzed what went wrong, that when I raise a gun, I actually shoulder it like this, and that draws the powder to the rear of the casing, and so the powder gets right up to the primer. He is taller than me by about 2 inches, and he aims down, and so the powder slid forward in the shell. It goes, it was just like a pop, plink. It sounded like a BB gun. It was hilarious. And then I had him, so I loaded him another one, and I told him, angle, he goes down the steps so that he can aim upwardly, and he shoulders it and hits it hard in his shoulder and then fires, and it fired properly. So that was something funny that happened. That I don't use a filler, and you're not gonna cause really any issues, but if you don't have that powder ignite with the primer, you end up getting basically a squib round that accelerates, and then the powder starts to burn, and it's not dangerous, but at the same time, you. But I figured it out. He didn't figure. I figured it out. And I just thought that was just pew, pink. Oh man. And what else? Gas stations are closed after 10. So I couldn't get gas. Luckily, I had enough gas to get home. But I have to get gas tomorrow. I cannot clear my throat. It's absolutely obnoxious. Hell is on TV. Smell linseed oil. And that sandpaper going. Here we go. That lamp would still work. It just has to have the most gigantic bulb you can ever imagine. So the socket, it's not like I can just put in another light bulb. And this has had a good while to set into the wood. axe is amazing. God damn. Can I clear my fucking throat? This is ridiculous. It doesn't matter how many times I go. Ugh. That might have worked. Getting this thing. The handle's so nice. So instead of making one, I wanted to make a 40-inch handle for it. I was going to make a laminated handle. And it's just, there's no reason to. Though technically it's a 30-inch handle. Because the bit is like 6.5 inches, it's actually like slinging a 36-inch axe. And that should be 12. No. What? It's 28 and... What? That can't be right. Come on. Yeah. It's 28, 2018, 29. .28 and 7/8 inches long. What the fuck? That's weird. It's supposed to be a 30-inch handle. Scalp. You can't shower every day, your head gets itchy. But these are the things you have to endure to live in this place. And I'm plenty fine with it. As long as I don't have lice or something, who knows? Maybe I have some sort of bug in my scalp. Did you give it a happy ending? Huh? Oh. Yeah, because when you oil the handle, it's like you're stroking a penis. God damn. I can't clear my throat. Hmm? Mm-hmm. I was watching a video of people working out, and there's a guy dressed like Mickey Mouse going, ho ho, ho ho. And then there's this like German song where the guy goes, ho ho. Oh my god. What is going on? Jesus. It just won't stop. Seems like it's doing okay. Let it sit. Oh my god. Throat. You have to hand rub linseed oil in. It's the only way to really do it. Because your hands help plasticize the linseed oil. I think it's plasticizing. Right? When it cures. That boiled linseed oil plasticizes. And so when you use your hands, because to speed up curing or drying of my oil paintings, I would leave them over the radiator and it would dry overnight, whereas sometimes they would take upwards of a month or two to dry. That, can I just be at peace? Jesus. And so when you hand rub, then your heat gets into the the handle of the wood and the linseed oil, and it thermally cures it quicker. So hand rubbing. I still cannot clear my fucking throat. This is ridiculous. Man, I can just not be comfortable right now. Then you go wrap that corned beef. Left it open air in the fridge. Aside from that, oh man, I love sake. My throat will just not behave. Passion fruit splash. I used to really love passion fruit. Maybe it was dragon fruit, I don't know. It just won't. Like my uvula has like just, I get this sticky fucking phlegm that is like rubber cement. It is unbelievable. And it just gets stuck on my uvula. Ugh. It just won't clear out of my throat. Absolutely horrible. Hey, there's a new Sabrina Pasterski interview. She's fucking awesome. She has a theory called time memory, and before I really knew anything about her, I had this theory that we could store information at the quantum level to because I had this box that when I moved into this apartment I was playing guitar, and the box literally rotated on its own. It was fucking crazy. And the box was full of like drum components. So it was heavy. It wasn't like air flowing in or something else. And the only thing I could rationalize is that when I plucked a string, this building was old. The building was built in the 40s, and that when I was playing music, somehow I excited the quantum atmosphere to apply a vectoring force at that location, and that would store information at the quantum level. And then I just happened to learn about her, and I swear I fucking met her once. There was a girl that I met on the street who was like a mathematician, but she was just sitting there playing mandolin. She looked just fucking like her. And that would be pretty weird, but like, anyway, so she has that theory, time memory, and it aligns with this like time derived differential of storing information at the quantum level to where you can like vector history and forces by exciting the air with waves that then, if it just happens to vector on an axis, and not vector, uh, what do they call that? Like the center of a matrix. That my God. Anyway, so I was playing guitar and the box rotated, and that's the only way I could rationalize it, was that somehow me exciting the air in the room would then resonate the walls, that would then like cross vector and apply some sort of force that from time, every time you move something, if you look at it in reverse, then you are applying forces at the quantum level to the walls. And so, and, my God, I can't clear my throat. It just won't stop. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. This is really annoying. Anyway, I remember reading her equations, and they're just pretty fucking awesome. I think Stephen Hawking like referenced her once in a paper too, from that theory, if I remember right. And her theory is called time memory. And I like people, like real theorists will, when they write a theory or discover a theory, they won't name it after themselves. Like Einstein was like that, Newton was like that, but then you get people like Schrodinger who named things after themselves, and those aren't the real theorists, because people want to infer information. Like real thinkers, real physicists and scientists, they want to allow and stimulate thought, so they don't name things after themselves. And it makes theories, if you do have one, so much easier to allocate and check your own work if people name shit after themselves. You might go your entire life without ever being able to actually check your own work against theirs and see if you are progressing in physics or science or whatever. And so naming something time memory is very interpretable. And every theory I've ever had or designed, I don't name them after myself. Like, I name them what they are. And so quantum atmospheric density, or quanta, which is, subquantum physics of a derivative for two states of matter and mass, energy equivalence, is very interpretable. It's like the anti-square. These are nice gloves, though. It's a shame that the thumbs are too big. Just have to fix them, I guess. I haven't used a sewing machine for a very long time, so I'll have to practice on something else. Maybe get some of that Kevlar thread. Use that. It's supposed to be really abrasion resistant. These gloves are advertised as abrasion resistant, whereas the other ones are puncture resistant. And I need abrasion resistance because, lifting those logs up. My God, it's been 35 fucking minutes. Can I clear my throat? I have turkey in the fridge. Might make some mac and cheese and turkey. I need some carbs. Cheese will help slow the digestion. And the turkey will have, it's 98%. So it's high protein content. And, God. That is one tough thing, though. When you can't shower a lot, like your scalp, the natural oils, you have to clean your scalp with your fingernails, and it's just a natural thing, an instinct that is there to preserve your hair. But whether that's an evolutionary trait, who knows? Need to condition my boots. They're just too comfortable. I can just wear them and wear them and wear them. Oh, I am a mess right now. It's like every little thing is just annoying the piss out of me. No, no wonder I can't enunciate. Like, I got fucking glue in my throat. God damn. It will not clear out. I really need to use some of this. I'm gonna go watch Sabrina talk, see what she has to say. She has, like, the nicest butt. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but I'm just gonna acknowledge her beauty. Like, her butt is like boom bada. She is fine. I think she's what the fuck is she from? She has a weird genealogy. Is she Iranian? I forget. I wish she would, participate more with, celestial holography too. She and I are very similar in how we understand holography. Her theory is a little different than my gravitational field model and gravitational mirages. Oh my God, I don't even talk about physics anymore. I can't even quote myself. There's something called a mirage that happens to where the frequencies of reality can like shift and correlate between one another, and how frequencies of light spectrums and stimuli based information can shift on a gravitational mirage. There's also another theory that is it's named gravity. I think it's gravitational mirage. It's not even close to that though. It's so difficult to explain because people don't have words for these things. However, it like the way that our eyes intake light, for instance. Ignore the other senses. only think about your eyes. Every person's retina and pupil will intake light differently, slightly. The lens and the refraction of the shape of the eye, everybody's a little slightly different. And so your ability to pick up on certain frequencies would correlate to a gravitational field that I'm so tired of physics. I mean, I love physics, don't get me wrong, but I peaked. Like I can't hold it all in my head anymore. It makes me just like I pushed it myself way too hard. I'm not natural like her. She's a true genius. But but field mirages are similar to seeing, like, when you're driving down the road and you're seeing evaporating wavelengths. Well, what's beyond that, what's that, and what's before that? And so you are existing in between that at a quantum frame. I think that's the best way to put it. I don't ever talk about this stuff anymore, but leave it to people like her. She's earned it. I don't need a Nobel Prize. Not, even if I could achieve one, and I've had some Nobel worthy theories, I don't even think I would accept the prize. Like, I would just let somebody that's been in that field of study take the interpretation, perfect it, do it properly, and I get satisfaction from knowing that I still understood that. And like, that is science. We better each other. And it's the person that can, the rigor of that person, the field, the study, and like how we can all better one another. And that's why you don't name theories after yourself. Is that quantum gravity? I am actually surprised she hasn't figured it out. She is so smart. She's unbelievably intelligent, but she hasn't figured out that all energy is linear. It seems so basic, but at the same time, it's counterintuitive. We are taught to think that gravity pulls us, but it's an enveloping energy force that pushes. It's one of my pride and joy theories. That is something that I'm very proud of. I'm the first person to theorize like that and figure it out. But yeah, I'm not a perfect mathematician, and I'm not a, like, I even if I wrote a paper and proved it, people would still say I was wrong. Like, so you said these words in weird ways that we don't know what you mean. That's how it would be. Because like, no matter how smart I am, I'm like in the 0.1% of humanity intellectually, and I still cannot do English. I went to business school, and even though in high school I was 98 percentile and I scored the school record in placement tests, but because I suck at English, and how I was educated is totally different. That like, you have to take an English class. You have to speak a certain way. There's a an autistic comedian who mocks that very concept. And she points out, like, if I get my point across and you understand me, I have achieved a language. It doesn't matter if I use a comma or not. It doesn't matter if I'm capable of speaking appropriately. We were taught how to use commas to section sentences and statements so that you could reverse them and switch them around. So I've always played with language like that. And she is super hot. Sabrina's fucking awesome. I haven't really looked at her videos if she's made any more. Quantum gravity. She's in the field. Let her fucking do it. I wanna be up here. I wanna be a mountain man. I don't need that validation. I already know I'm right. So, other people will figure it out too. And figure out the wave structures and how energy can redirect to form a mass energy equivalence on two states of mass. But pioneers in theoretical physics, that's their lives. Like, I love those people. You've earned it. Okay, take my idea. I don't need it. I wouldn't accept a Nobel Prize anyway. Like, I forget all of them, but like Roger Penrose, when he was forming uh, conformal psychocosmology, I already had developed that theory. And I know that makes me sound like a fucking dork, but I was working out how to understand how the universe could cycle and how energy, because we either think that it's expanding the universe or it's contracting or it's stable. So, what if we combine all three of those and we look at it as Hawking radiation and we look at the outside of our universe? What is out there? Well, what if we are just in a gigantic fusion reactor, which is a reality fabricator, like a 3D printer, but it fabricates universes? And they say that, like, within a black hole is a whole nother universe, right? Well, quantum theory can subdivide infinitely. And so, logically, you would look at the entire universe as the same bubble that then Hawking radiation is spanning outwardly, and then we have radiation inwardly too. And so, how would reality in parallel universes, if you had two bubbles and they radiate equally, that would form uh, conformal brain fart. I'm talking too much. And so, it, like, Roger Penrose is a fucking badass guy. That guy's awesome. And he deserves it. His his work is fantastic. I call it unilluminable, but it's unilluminable room. I have impossible solutions for it, and I had like five. Like, for instance, designing a room that would circle that the light refraction could never reach a key vector and would always refract. His solutions are actually practical. You could actually use his solutions. You can't use mine. Mine are silly. Mine are just me having fun. So that guy deserves it. Formal cyclic cosmology. What a beautiful title. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite people. Father left his gun. I thought he would take it. I just don't want him to sell it. He sells everything. Gets rid of good things. And this gun, I really want it. You can do so many things with it. It's just a fun physics toy. Enter the black hole. Why, that's crazy. I want to listen to that song. Symphony of Science is amazing too. Mm. Come on, throat. Clear up. So, you know, I I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't have anywhere else that I want to go. I have nowhere else that I want to be. I am not spitting on the floor. There is a thing over there. I have very good aim. I don't have anywhere else that I want to go. Nowhere else I want to be. It always amazes me when people live here and they think they need a vacation. I'm like, you literally live in the vacation. This is. What do you need? Like ocean water? It smells like fish over there. Figured out wormholes though. That was kind of cool. Pray. You know, it takes so much energy. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I did figure out wormholes. That was another thing that's kind of cool, I guess. Probably made a video about it. I'll explain that. I have 7 more minutes for an hour of talking. Uh, I was figuring out a network structure similar to weaving patterns of threads that you would be able to vector gravitational forces of molecular mass and then time the pulse rate of entanglement, and then if you push a particle into it, the pulse rate would sort of like do this, but it would be a networking system and accelerate indefinitely, in that you could use then these molecules moving back and forth. So once you get to that location, you're going to send the same information to this location as that is sending to there. And so as that comes, you're going to experience a subtle resistance, but a flux rate of accelerating around a gravitational curve. And it would equate to zero space. And that's the only way that you could have a real wormhole. But I don't know if I explained it thoroughly. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Oh, I would get Sabrina Pasterski so pregnant. Just like She would make babies. She'd be a baby factory. She she would always be pregnant if she was my woman. Her brain is just so sexy. Uh, but I'm not a good enough man for children. Production for family making. And I can't keep a woman clean here. You know, you have to conserve so much water that it's tough. But when you smell that crisp mountain air, you walk outside, you look around, you sit in front of that fire, a beautiful handmade fireplace, and you look at bark that has been on these logs for over 100 years. It all makes it worth to suffer through this, so that, you know, there aren't women that can handle it. Women need to be kept clean, and to be a man with a woman is to keep her clean and pure. And so, it's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't mind meeting a woman that can handle this. However, I'm not going to be attracted to her. There we go. Now I feel better. But yeah, you know, that's once you start having children, if you have children up in a place like this, the amount of water is that you use can destabilize the entire area. You can't raise a family up here anymore. You can't use too much water. You can't be naive, let alone a child running around wanting to draw on the walls. I always wanted a child that would draw on the walls. And, you know, there was a home that I almost moved into in Westminster, I think. Not Westminster. It was Arvada, Lakewood area in Denver Metro. And they had all these drawings on the walls and this unique structure to the home. I felt so bad for that family that couldn't afford to stay there. That I just knew that they were really awesome people. And when we walked through it, because it was a scam, they foreclosed on it and then wanted to rent it out without a lease to just take advantage of people for free. That, you know, I walked through there and saw these kids' drawings, and it was just disappointing to see that in humanity. So what do I have to say for the last minute before an hour? God damn. My uvula. Why do I need that thing? Why do I need a uvula? I haven't had fried chicken in a long time.